All right, let's do this. It is Boxing Day, December 26th, 10:32 p.m. in the UK. So, where do we want to start? Well, it's only one place we can start, right? Silver. So, silver, new historic high, 79.20. I guess a few other websites will differ on that particular settlement, but whatever you want to look at it as, 79s. The 79s now. RSI 87. We are extremely overbought. But look at today's candle. There is zero sign of a short-term top on a daily candle. In fact, we are accelerating to the upside. I mean, even to me, it's like, well, I expected some upside maybe on Friday or more realistic Monday, and here we are on Friday, and it's jumped. But I mean, officially, we're up $7.18 on the day. $7.18 in a day. Officially, we're up effectively 10%. 10 in a day. In fact, that is probably one of the biggest. That is surely the biggest nominal dollar gain silver's ever had. Perhaps. I suppose it may have gone up more, and I don't know. I think it's probably the biggest nominal gain. It might not be the biggest percentage gain. I don't know. I'm not a statistician on this, but amazing. Uh, just briefly looking at the smaller time frames. I mean, look, it opened a little choppy and then just basically clawed upwards across the day. Even the closing hour candle was strong. We have a string of downside gaps. Look at this. I mean, there's even another one there in the 40. Of course, that's SLV, not commodity silver, in the 49s. That's now 20. But this big gap to here is down. It's $22 down. You know, maybe my hope as someone who wants to buy back is that maybe on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week we will cool back to yellow gap. Maybe get to the 66, 65s. But my confidence on that is pretty low because we could just keep going. Uh, you know, we'll see. I mean, you see here on the left, actually, we just kind of stair-stepped. So we had a big run here to the 53 in SLV, and then we churned sideways for about what, 5, 6, yeah, 6 days, 6 days of churn, and then off we went again with sporadic little drops. On a 15-minute cycle, I mean, look at this. RSI is 84, but it's one of his incredible day where RSI was broadly above 70 the entire day. Again, you can see actually you can see the actual opening candle on the 15-minute was black, and we're left with this big yellow gap. Because on a 5-minute, RSI did cool off a little bit, but again, I won't get too finicky about a 5-minute. Just a brief look at commodity gold, which I mean, look, gold printed a new historic high, 45.49. We are well on the way to 5,000. I think we're just going to go on a straight run to 5,000. And here's the thing. If gold is 5,000, which looks probable within late January, early Feb, then what's silver? Silver will be what? Close to 100. So my guess right now is that gold 5K will sync with silver at 100. My only caveat is that the higher we go, um, the cautious are going to be getting ever more cautious because at some point we're going to max out and then we're going to have a major retracement. Much like here, I mean, you can see gold got 43.81 and cooled about what, $400 odd in the space of about 2 weeks. So we could easily drop 10% in gold, or silver will typically drop 2 to 3 times as much as gold. So if silver gets to 100, it's going to drop. It could easily retrace to $80 without even trying. So good day for one of the best days ever for the gold and silver bucks. I was going to look at the miners, but I'm gonna do a separate post on Saturday. I'm gonna do a extended post on gold, silver, and the miners. So that's what I should just leave it at that for those. There's a few other individual movers today of note. Let's start with space stocks, which, yeah, I think they merit attention. I mean, look, uh, it is notable Wednesday's candle was a black doji, which played out today. So we filled the gap from last Friday? Yeah, yeah, Friday's gap. Actually, it was at Monday's gap. Yeah, Monday's opening gap was filled. You know, Rocket Lab, $70. I think there's a good chance of 200 by the SpaceX IPO. Another space one, ASTS, similarly down 7.8%. There was a new company that I only noticed today called FJET, which is, yeah, look at the name of this company, Starfighters Space. Go to their homepage. So they closed up 18%, although it is notable that on Monday they were 31, and they were 12 this morning, or 12 on Wednesday, closed at 14s. You know, I would still favor Rocket Lab, but you can see this is only what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're only day 6, so we're 6 days into this company, and it's going to take a few weeks for it to just kind of stabilize and build some support resistance thresholds. But interesting, and a hell of a name. All right, what else I want to cover? Um, Again, I'd be inclined to highlight the miners, but I'll do that on Saturday. I want to keep this video kind of short. Deckers, one of my targets. Look at that. Deckers was up 2% to 103.09. Once it breaks for 200 day, which is 105.29, soft target then will be 125. I'm inclined to go long this one, but in terms of the option market, the spreads are a little bit too wide. The liquidity isn't great. So I have been thinking about going long Nike instead. I'm not sure. It's something I'm going to need to think about some more across this weekend, but I do think it's going to have a bullish breakout and then onward to 125. My bigger target for this one is 150, which I mean, it looks possible as early as February. All right, what else we got? Um, I mean, Google was down a touch, but nothing much to say there, really. Oh yeah, this is Nike. So Nike was up 1.5%, third day up. Clearly, teal gap's got to be filled to the 65s. And on a midterm basis, I think this is a chance at $90, which of course is a long way up. And I'm thinking about this as a trade for February into February and March. Again, big target would be, well, soft target would be this one, fill teal gap. Teal gap looks easy. That could be filled probably by early January. Second target, 69s. Third target, 79s. On a monthly chart, though, natural target would be about 90. But we might not print 90 until late next summer. That's a long way off, of course. But we can get to 69 and maybe 79s by the spring. Nvidia had a strong day. Market was pretty happy with the $20 billion purchase of Grok. That's Grok with a Q, not with a K. Another great day for Dan Ives Orbs. Down 11% to $1.66. What an absolute disaster. I'd love to ask Dan Ives, like, hey, what about this one? Isn't this your company? Isn't this a company you're leading? That went from $1.50 to 83. Now it's back to $1.66. Got any comment to make about that, Dan Ives? Because I'm guessing he has nothing to say about it. Terrible. Palantir, which of course is Michael Berry's short. Palantir was actually down 2.8% today. You can see it's got stuck around a green gap and they're selling into it, which is kind of interesting. Momentum's turning, well, it's rolled over, a divergent lower high. Momentum might turn negative on probably not Monday, but Tuesday. So I lean it. It's one of those stocks. There's a couple of others, Tesla being one, that suggests that the main market has a chance at a cooling wave of maybe 1%. Not Monday, but more so Tuesday. Of course, if the main market is down, silver will be typically dragged down with it, or at least restrained sideways for a while. We've covered Rocket Lab, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla was down 2.1%, 475. Target is to fill orange gap to around 460. Much like the other one I just mentioned. Momentum due to turn negative on either Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, short-term bearish Tesla. Do we cover Target? No. I mean, there was news today that Target, there's an activist investor, according to the FT. So it spiked initially. It did cool back, but still sold up 3%. I looked at the options change. They think the options were up like 35% or so. This is one stock that looks like it's on the edge of a breakout. My target for Target is 115, which is this little zone around here. Secondary target is 145. Now that is a long way up and might not be hit until the late summer. But I think it could be 115 by, you know, I mean, it could even do it in January, but more viable in February or March. United Health, one of my top targets, settled up 1.3%. 331, look at the 200-day, 347. Once it breaks above, green gap, 472. I think it's got to do it. You watch this one. When it breaks above, the chasers will pile in, and this gap will be tagged, if not fully filled, by next summer. What else? Oh yeah, one other, UPS, which is my prime target right now. UPS is my most favorite target of all the stocks right now. So UPS settled down 0.1%. It's 154. It did print just under 100. I'm looking at the March 110 calls, which are trading for roughly $200 a contract. My upside target is 125 to 130. I accept I think that's viable as early as early Feb. I mean, look at this. We have a pretty good marginal double floor from 81 to 80. This jump in late October was on earnings. Black candle. Look, it's a great example. Black candle over 200-day, right? And it cooled back, mostly filled, orange gap, reversal candle there, and off we went again to 102. And 102, of course, is massive level. If once we see 103s, off we go to 125 to 130. I really want this one. I should pick it up next week, probably. Hopefully, I'd like to pick it up a couple of dollars down. That would just be kind of a bonus right now. But that's going to need the main market to go down, and maybe the main market will just churn in holiday week. Because remember, next week's another holiday week, right? Thursday's closed, so holiday weeks are always a little bit, one, they're subdued, and you know, low volume, price action's a bit spurious. But I like UPS. A random look at Bitcoin, fractionally higher at 87K, not exactly exciting. Yeah, but I mean, one thing to note from today, the S&P did print a new historic high. 69.45. And you have a little kind of red doji candle. So we have this orange gap. I think we could print that next week and then bounce. Red gap, it just doesn't look realistic. It really doesn't. And there were a lot of people out there thinking, oh yeah, 69.20 is a key high. Well, we're past that now. Not only, new intraday high, we still closed above the old high. So maybe orange gap, but that would merely make for a better entry on certain things. As for all the other stuff, it's like grander perspective. It's like, look at this. I mean, we're only up 80 points for the month, but hey, look, just broadly going up. Why would anyone not expect 7K next it could be, we could clearly print 7K next week. I'm kind of thinking we won't print it until the early January. But to most people it shouldn't matter anyway. The real issue I have now is, will we print 8K by a late summer? And that looks kind of, well, doesn't look that difficult. Anything else? I really should just wrap up. Maybe I'll leave it on a weekly chart. Actually, you know what I haven't looked at today? Silver on a monthly. Whoa. That's funny. Seriously. Silver is up $22. $22.72. 40.3%. 40% on the month. And we're still not done. For all I know, silver could be up $10 between next Monday and Wednesday, right? It could just go exponential. It could just make a straight run to $100 within a matter of days. I don't know. Nobody knows, right? But regardless, hell of a month. Hell of a month. That's an amazing thing to see. And the RSI is 91. We are way overbought. But again, we could remain overbought for a couple of months. Again, my guess is we're on a straight running goal to 5K. If that's the case, silver's probably going to be around 100, right? Right? That doesn't look difficult at all. If you actually remember, my regular listeners should remember me saying a few weeks ago, my original target was 70 to 75 by mid-January. That felt bold, but it felt likely, which is why I've been going long silver. But now we're in the 79s. He's like, okay, well, what's Monday? How's it going to open Monday? I have no idea. For all I know, on Monday it could open at $90 or even higher. I don't know. I'm guessing that it needs to kind of either retrace a little bit for a few days or just churn sideways and burn off overbought conditions. But I am biased in that regard because I'm not currently long silver, so I want to be able to buy it back a little bit lower. But I wouldn't expect much, right? But yeah, that's a hell of a chart. So 40% for silver. And I haven't even looked at this. What's gold for the month? Okay, for the month, gold is currently up 7.5%, which is $314. $314. Again, the RSI is super high, 93, but it could remain. Look, you could imagine, right? Could gold just remain above 80, 90 RSI all across what? Into the summer for like 6 months. Why couldn't that? I'm guessing we would see a reaction around 5K, but um, so yeah, my guess is gold will get stuck around 5K and then retrace, and then maybe it will retrace to what, 4.5, which is ironically where we are now. So I'm guessing 5K, retrace to 4.5K, and then off we go to 6, 7, 8 next year. My guess is that we do see gold 7K And if that's the case, silver will be 150 or more. It's not bold. The Fed are printing money. The Fed will increase the rate of QE next summer. That seems a given. In which case, you know, this becomes the most straightforward trade in my view. And I said that in the summer. So yeah, for me, it was the best trading day of the year, which gives me some more, more funds to do some more trades. This is good. And in another year, gold 45K will probably appear cheap. Much like we look back on gold 2K. Yeah, look at this. 2000 gold in summer of 2020. Think of how cheap that looks now. For 2074. And then it broke out in early 24. And you get again, look at this. You have to expect some sporadic cooling here and now. But we know where this is heading now, don't we? We know. I think I'm going to end it on that gold chart instead of a silver one. So I wish you a good evening. I will probably do a special gold, silver, and miners post on Saturday, or video rather. And on Sunday, I'm not sure what I'll do. But anyway, have a good evening. Be good.